I'm Scotty, you're not, with a bonus review for you. We're going to take a look at Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So, when this was announced, I was up for it, okay? I was into it. Because I thought, hey, banana splits, right? They had some fun with that. They can do some fun with this. The problem here is that they decided to take it all way too seriously with this. It has way too serious of a tone for something like this. If you are doing something like this and making it a slasher film, make it a horror comedy. Have fun with it. This was a shoe of a film. A boring, stinky shoe. That, don't get me started on the inconsistencies. I know they can't legally use the version that Disney came forward, alright? If you don't know, Winnie the Pooh was written by A.A. Milne. I believe he is the guy who said, and I quote, "Get out of my chair, dill hole." But he came up with Winnie the Pooh as well. And Disney licensed that and created several shorts off of it. The issue here is that I know they couldn't go with that verbatim. It gets close, but not really. In this version, Pooh and his friends are half-breeds, whatever that means. Or they have human, half animal creatures. Okay. Well, from what I remember, Christopher Robin made them up. They were all stuffed animals that were in his room. The 100-acre room, the 100-acre wood never existed, was not a real place, and was just something in his imagination. Or were just some woods behind his house. Whatever. Also, I know what A. Milne was. I know the director of this film was. But Christopher Robin was not British. But everyone in this film is, because they're too cheap to hire people outside of their country. And I slowly started to realize watching this movie that there was no point in this movie. What's the point? What is the point of this movie? We'll get to it. The story here is that Christopher Robin was playing around as a kid. He found these half-breeds and called them his friends. He got older. He went off to college, which I believe was the plot of the Christopher Robin movie that came out with Ewan McGregor. Without a plot, he went to college. There was even an animated film, The Search for Christopher Robin, where he went to school, or a skull, as they said. But he left for college, and now, 5 years later, he's getting married to this woman named Mary, or is already married to her, whatever. And he's coming back to introduce her to his friends, but they're not well. You see, after they were left behind, they started to get hungry and they ate Eeyore. Which makes no sense. Because one, they're fucking animals, and they can hunt in the forest for food. Pooh's a bear. He can eat fish and other smaller animals and climb trees for honey. And even if we're not doing that, if we're going by the freaking stories, Rabbit had a garden, and Piglet. It pisses me off that they chose Pooh and Piglet to be the two killers. Now, Pooh is one thing. Piglet was timid. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Tigger, I do could bounce and crush the hell out of you. Now they're going to use Tigger for the sequel. Yes, they made a sequel. Yes, they're going to make a sequel, but Piglet, fine. But here's the big deal. Owls do not eat animals. They eat nuts and worms, which is technically an animal, but not really. It's an insect, really. They would not be able to eat a donkey. Neither do rabbits, but rabbits can be feral. You know, if you get rabid, sure. But yeah, they just put that in there to eat Eeyore to get a shock to people right away. Show you what this movie's going to be like. So, Christopher Robin is bringing his new wife to show them. But of course, they're cuckoo pants. And so now they are attacked. And Mary is choked out by the only two characters, Pooh and Piglet. That's it. Apparently we're going to see more in the next one. I don't know. Apparently Tigger and Owl is going to show up in the next one. And Piglet, despite the fact that he's killed in this one. But Christopher Robin is then grabbed, attacked, and held hostage because reasons. And then we snap to a bunch of new characters. The cast of Leprechaun returns because that's what it is. These group of young women who go to this cabin for a weekend, basically. One of them has a history of a home invasion or some bullshit. Who cares? And they're basically hunting down one by one. And it was towards the end of this film. Look, I struggled to pay attention. I don't fucking care. Okay? Once I realized what this movie was going to be, that there was going to be no fun to be had, I switched off. I couldn't give two shits about this movie. Okay? This is... Let me give you a visual representation of what this movie is. Well, see this? This is cash. You see it? You see this? Let me fix the thing. See this? This is cash. This is a representation of the movie. Did you get that? And try it again. One more time. Cash grab. That's what this movie is a cash grab. Whoever decided to make this movie did not care about the quality of this film. They just wanted to make this movie for as cheap as they fucking could. So they can make as much money as they fucking could. And that's all it is. That's all it fucking is. You have the worst costumes ever. They're supposed to be half-breeds. No, they're guys in fucking masks. That's all they are, is guys in masks. That's it. And you cannot convince me otherwise. They're supposed to be half-breed human animal things, but the costumes are not made well enough. There's some decent gore, but that's few and far between in this piece of shit. And the moment I really said fuck you to this movie was when it got towards the end of this film. There are two of our characters left. One of them gets killed, and we got one character left. Right? Just as she's about to get killed by Pooh, like I said, Piglet's already technically dead at this point, whatever. Christopher Robin comes in and saves the day. Or so we think. He smashes Pooh, whatever. But what really started to get me, the middle figure to this, that I started to realize what this movie was, alright? Is that there's this group of guys that the girls flag down. And they start to surround Pooh like he's Michael Myers from Halloween Kills, start to beat the crap out of him. Unlike Mikey Myers, he doesn't fall down. He just takes every hit and then kills all of them. I was like, okay, we're doing this invincible killer thing, except for we saw Piglet die, right? Maybe not. Who knows? Supposedly he's dead. I don't know. I don't fucking care. Anyway, then Chris Robin comes in and saves this girl, only for her to then get killed anyway and die in Christopher Robin's arms. She tells him, run. He runs off. Movie ends. That's when I realized... that's when I realized they're setting up for a sequel. And then I looked it up. Of course, they're working on a sequel. Of course, they're not going to kill off these characters. Of course. It's fucking bullshit. Alright? Now, there's only two characters because they could only afford to do costumes for the two characters. Because they're cheap. They're fucking cheap. And it's... Look, I'm a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. Grew up with it. This was... You know when your dog shits outside in the yard and you don't pick it up right away, you let it sit on the hot summer's day for about 5 of those hot summer's days, and then you go to pick it up and it's all yucky and disgusting, maybe a little mold, little blistery, flies surrounding it. That's this fucking movie, alright? It's a moldy, smoldering, rotten piece of shit that deserves to be thrown in the fucking dumpster. That's why I can only say this movie should fry in fucking hell. This was a miserable experience from beginning to end. They put no care into this film. It's just, hey, people are going to pay to see Winnie the Pooh killing people, so let's give them that. But you need to inject some more fun into it. Look at the banana splits, right? That had some kind of fun. Look at Willy's Wonderland. That had a fun element to it. You cannot do a Winnie the Pooh slasher film that is straightforward. It does not fucking work. It doesn't work. And what's more is that you kill every single character we're supposed to root for. I say supposed to because no one's rooting for these bitches. But we're supposed to root for them. But we don't. And it's hard to when it's obvious they're all going to die. The problem is you set up this rescue by Christopher Robin that goes nowhere because she is killed anyway. And Christopher Robin's just allowed to run off because we got set up for a sequel. And I looked at the sequel. They recasted everyone. So what's the fucking point of doing it? People aren't going to know that Christopher Robin's Christopher Robin because you're changing the cast. Why? I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's a piece of shit. Rotten. Fry in hell. For all I care. Fuck this movie. Duh! Fuck Winnie the Pooh.